What is the fiscal cliff? According to About.com, the term fiscal cliff is the popular term used to describe the issue that the U.S. government faced at the end of 2012, when the terms of the Budget Control Act of 2011 were scheduled to go into effect. What created it? In August of 2011, we reached the federal debt ceiling, which affected our credit score as a nation. This was the start of a need to make tax cuts and address federal spending. A number of laws were set to go into place at midnight on December 31st of 2012, and it was up to Congress to decide the future of those laws. About.com states that among the changes that were set to take place at midnight on December 31st, 2012, were the end of last year's temporary payroll tax cuts, resulting in a 2% tax increase for workers, and the end of tax breaks for businesses, shifts in the alternative minimum tax that would take a larger bite, a rollback of the Bush tax cuts from 2001 to 2003, and the beginning of taxes related to President Obama's healthcare law. What did Congress do on January 1st, 2013 to address the fiscal cliff? On January 1st, 2013, Congress addressed the fiscal cliff by agreeing mainly on a list of tax cuts that would affect Americans in different ways. USA Today stated that on January 1st, under the deal, taxes would remain steady for the middle class and rise at incomes over $400,000 for individuals and $450,000 for couples. An increase in the payroll tax by 2 percentage points means an increase to 6.2% for incomes up to $113,000. And a reversal of the Bush tax cuts for individuals making more than $400,000 and couples making over $450,000. Investment income is also affected, with an increase in the tax on investment income from 15% to 23.8% for filers in the top income bracket and a 3.8% surtax on investment incomes for individuals earning more than $200,000 and couples making more than $250,000. The deal also stopped scheduled pay increases for Congress set for spring of 2013 and includes a 9-month extension on the Farm Bill, which had been delayed for months because of differences between the House and the Senate's versions of legislation that the United States agricultural policy changes every 5 years. What, if anything, should Congress have done differently to address the fiscal cliff? Congress should have taken control of the situation at hand earlier than what they did. Waiting until the deadline caused an unneeded last-minute rush to the finish line. The deal was hurried through and was clearly not adequately addressed. Congress should have handled the fiscal cliff with a great urgency because the U.S. economy needs its relief. If Congress would have taken the year to address the fiscal cliff, quite possibly the tax and the spending cuts alike would have been addressed. Instead, Americans were still in the dark about federal spending cuts. What fiscal cliff issues did Congress omit to address on January 1st, 2013? The deal made by Congress was only a short-term fix until March 1st came about. Congress only addressed the revenue side of the fiscal cliff, meaning the taxes. The deal did nothing to fix the debt ceiling and also did little to actually fix the deficit, which presently stands at $16.4 trillion and counting. Did Congress take additional action on the fiscal cliff by March 3rd of 2013? As of March 1st, Congress let the sequestration take place, and it will be in effect until they can agree on what needs to be done. Is sequestration a good tool for addressing federal budget deficits? Personally, it seems as though sequestration is not the best tool for addressing the federal budget deficits. If Congress could agree on what is best for the budget deficit, it seems as though sequestration would not even need to be an option. If both parties could think critically together to find a resolution, it seems as though the processes would be much easier. We need to be looking at spending that is not in our best interest, focusing on the main problem areas and moving forward from there. Making across-the-board spending cuts does not seem like the best solution for the deficit. Knowing where the greatest amount of unneeded and unproductive spending is seems to be more proactive. Sequestration seems to have a web-like effect on America. People all over will feel the repercussions, whereas focusing on the problem areas with the most spending and addressing those first might have a lesser impact on people. Personally, I feel like we have elected highly educated people to make these big decisions, and it will only be a matter of time before they can find a better tool to fix the deficit.